Last night we have a little home theater, and was watching a movie with my kids, and we were watching Maze Runner. And I told them beforehand, I said, "This I think it's a little too scary for you guys," but they begged, "No, we can handle it. We can handle it." So watching Maze Runner, it gets a little scary when the grievers come out or whatever those scorpion things are. And my youngest, Amory, he was clinging to me so tight, asked if he could sit in my chair, and Kate crawled over and grabbed on. And I found it so endearing. I was relishing the moment to be able to protect, provide him a sense of security and protection. But this, I think, is such a good picture of why certain things like this are allowed to happen. I think when bad things happen in the world, or things that are fearful happen in the world, we stand at a crossroads where on the one hand we can very effortlessly, very in a binary way say like, oh, there's no God, or if there was a God, he would never allow these things to happen. And it's so easy to discard all the good things that God shows us when we wake up every day. We can stand on the other side of it and say, we invite so much of this in our world. We human beings do this to ourselves. And fortunately for us, we have a God of comfort. I've talked about this before, a God of all comfort, who wants us to share that same comfort that we receive with other people. But that we have a God of comfort because he knows that there are things that we're going to need to be comforted by, that we invite into the world, that we say, like, I really want to watch that scary movie. And when we hit play on that movie, he knows that we're gonna need somewhere to go, and wants to be the one that we cling to. But if it's between no relationship at all and one where we embrace, I think God will allow fear into our lives so that we choose to embrace him. Otherwise, what drives us to him? The guilt and shame between us creates a chasm that's almost insurmountable for us. It's so hard for us once we've committed acts that create distance between us and God, to turn to God and say, like, I'm sorry, please take me back. It's easier for us to discard and go like, there's no God, or God's evil because he allows bad things to happen, and bad things in my life. And but I think the harder thing for us to do is to wrap our hands around God and say, I need comfort in this moment. Whether I invited it in or whether it just exists in the world, something has me frightened. And God looks for that, and Psalms speaks to this. David wrote, when I am afraid, I put my trust in you. In God, whose word I praise. In God I trust, and I am not afraid. What can mere mortals do to me? Psalm 56 is a great example of somebody who's being pursued by terrible things, frightful things, whose life is on the line, and who still turns to God as a God of comfort, not as an enemy, not as somebody who's betrayed the author, but as somebody who understands things that we don't, and is there to bring a transcendent kind of peace. So anyway, I just want to say, let's not, in this time of Halloween and these very scary times, let a good fright go to waste. If you're feeling fearful or anxious, turn to God and see if peace abounds in those moments where you cast those fears at his feet.